You gonna show me the money.
Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show, ESPN 105.9 The Zone, brought to you by Two Brothers, phenomenal restaurant and bar. Older Brother Bistro, amazing place. Barton Dinkins, award-winning pitmaster, and another fabulous restaurant in Starkville, Mississippi, Taste Italian Kitchen in Starkville and Ridgeland. This is 105.9 The Zone, ESPN. We want to welcome in associate head coach for Mississippi State softball, Tyler Bratton, to the show. Samantha Ricketts, Tyler Bratton, the staff and the team go to Oklahoma, the most dominant softball program in the country the last 15 years, maybe longer. And they win a super regional and punch their ticket to the College World Series. Tyler, good morning. Congratulations to you and your crew.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me on the show today.
Absolutely. So when did you and Samantha feel like this was a squad? I mean, before, you put together your roster the last year or so, and I know it's so transactional today and so on, but last fall, late winter, you start playing. Did y'all feel like y'all had a team that could make a run like this, Tyler?
We did, and it was, even when we had some close losses in the SEC, it was always, we just felt like this team was built for May. That was the big target when we, we did some portal recruiting this past summer and brought in the number 3 ranked transfer portal class, and it was heavy with arms. We knew that was going to be something we needed to bring in and really, boost our bullpen and that sort of stuff. And, we just thought that having different looks in the bullpen was going to give us a chance. Defense has been exceptionally well. I think after the regional weekend, we were number 2 in the nation in terms of fielding percentage. So, when Ron Polk will always tell you, pitching, defense, and timely hitting gives you a chance. And, it's just a matter of getting some timely hits. And, man, we've been able to execute and get some of those done here as of late.
Man, Tyler Bratton on the Out of Bounds Show, MSU softball. He's been with MSU baseball. He's been around MSU athletics for a long time. They're going to the College World Series. Samantha Ricketts, Tyler Bratton, and a just team of unbelievable athletes and players. All right, so you've been around. Y'all have had success. I mean, y'all have had a lot of success in this program.
We have. We've been close the last couple of years from knocking that door down, but It's kind of good to finally get that to go this year for us.
All right, well, talk about that. You obviously have a team. Look, when the Alabama footballs, Oklahoma softballs, UConn women's hoops, the list goes on and on. When they go on runs, sometimes even when you've got a good team, it's easily to take yourself out mentally because of the name on the front of the jersey. You obviously have a team they were not worried about that one bit. Why is that?
Well, I think one of the things now, too, is when they've joined the SEC, and even before Oklahoma and Texas were in the SEC, I believe we had played Oklahoma 5 straight years going into this. We had them off this year and on our regular season schedule, but another year in a row, we played them a bunch of times, I think 11 times going into this weekend, just in recent history. So it's a team we're familiar with. A lot of our roster is returning from last year's team, and we played a really close series at their place last year, Easter weekend. So we were familiar with that crowd. It's an incredible atmosphere there. Their fans really come out and support the Sooners and all that. Yeah. So it was something we were kind of used to a degree. But the thing about this league is it just prepares you for these moments. It's week in and week out. You're facing elite arms all the time. And you look at our SEC season this year, we had all of our 8 weekends were quad 1 opponents, every one of them. Good. 8 weekends in a row, all top 25 RPI teams, and nobody else had that schedule. So we felt like, hey, keep the ship on the right track, get to May, and good things are going to come, and you're starting to see some of that really paying off.
All right, Tyler, you won the first game, and there's all this emotions, right? I mean, you go into Norman, you beat the best softball program in the country in game 1. They hadn't lost, they haven't lost a game at home in a super regional since like World War II. And so y'all win, and you want them to celebrate, then you got to kind of get them back locked in. You lose game 2. When you and Samantha were talking between game 2 and game 3, was there any doubt that they could get back up and punch the ticket like you did?
No, there was no doubt at all, and I think it was, we embraced the underdog role. Delaney had a great quote post-game yesterday on her interviews.
Yes.
that, hey, man, an underdog is still a dog, and that was kind of something that we relished that. We relished that chip on our shoulder mindset, and so it's kind of just another opportunity. But at the end of the day, we say all the time, our weekend series in the league is like super regionals. So we have 8 super regionals, and we've been in a lot of rubber matches this year. So it's kind of one of those where, hey, let the cards play, let them, go as they're going to go, and we got a pretty good team playing really good softball right now. Offense has really come along, and with our pitching staff and our defense, we're kind of always in the hunt. So we just thought we could get some timely hits early, put the pressure on them, make them have to answer back, something that a lot of teams don't do up here. They don't take an early lead on them up here, and we were able to do that early in the game. And then the important part was shutting them down in the first. We got the 2 spot in the top of the first, but Ella Parker hit one off the wall, and Tatum threw her out of second base. That was a huge momentum swing, throwing her out of second base and getting that shutdown inning in the top of the first, and then just being able to tack runs on. Once you start getting to 3-0, 4-0, 5-0, you started feeling like, man, we're in a good spot now, and all the pressure's on them. It's their place, it's their fans, they're rowdy, they're wanting to try to make something happen, and it was, again, an incredible environment, by the Sooner faithful here. And just as the game kind of went on, it kind of kept starting to play more and more into our game plan and into our hands there.
Wow. Tyler Bratton, MSU softball on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. They're going to the College World Series. They're in. All right, walk me through what's next, Tyler. Like, what's the schedule? What's next? What's happening for our listeners?
Well, yeah, it's kind of a unique opportunity. And being a former kind of travel guru, I did a lot of that stuff with Mississippi State baseball under John Cohen and, Butch Thompson and Nick Mingione and all those guys, and, the Omahas and all that stuff back in 2013. But this year's a little bit different. When we went to the Super Regional in Oklahoma, they actually had us staying in Oklahoma City. So we were taking 30, 35-minute bus rides every day to and from to get to the stadium. So with us finishing on Sunday, it didn't make a whole lot of sense to travel back to Starkville on Monday just to come back on Tuesday. So yeah, we're just hanging out here in Oklahoma City. We got the girls up this morning, checked out of our hotel, came to a little facility to do some batting practice, kind of get them moving around, do some foam rollers, do some band stretching, just kind of get them locked in on what would normally be an off day, just kind of get them moving around a little bit today. And we'll go to the mall, kind of kill some time, and then we'll check into the new hotel that the NCAA has assigned for all the World Series teams.
Okay. Who do you play?
We've got Texas Tech. We open up the first game on Thursday with Texas Tech.
Wow. This is incredible. Tyler Bratton on the Out of Bounds show. MSU softball just went and beat Oklahoma on their home field. The best, most dominant softball program in the country. I got 1 minute, Tyler. What makes Delaney Everett so special?
She's got that dog in her. That her mindset is second to none. She's the kind of kid that can turn it up a notch. It's almost Rick Wild Thing Vaughn. For those Major League fans back home that have seen that movie from way back when, it's almost Wild Thing Vaughn. When she gets the ball in her hand and she turns around, there's this look in her eye that you gotta come get the ball out of her hand. She don't want to get the ball up. You got to come take it out of her hand. And the more she gets into it, I thought her best inning was the 6th inning, and this is somebody that hadn't had any starts at all this year. It's kind of been Peja and Alyssa and Layla pretty much sprinkled throughout the year, and then Delaney's been coming on strong as of late, but she's one of those, as she kind of got into the game here, the flow of the game, the 4th, the 5th, the 6th, I thought the 6th inning was her best inning, and it's just, she's special. She's special.
Wow.
Got the mentality built for it. Her mom and dad raised her that way. Her dad, he passed away a year ago, ex-highway patrolman in California, just instilled this toughness, this mental toughness and this fortitude of her, and she's special, man.
Dude, that is awesome. Tyler, congratulations to you and Samantha and everybody in the program and all the players, man. And we'll be rooting for you Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate you having me on. Hell State.
That guy is one of the best recruiters in the country. Now, they've known that for a while, but he knocked down the number 3 portal class in the country. Tyler Bratton, MSU softball on the Out of Bounds show. Samantha Ricketts, Tyler, and the players beat Oklahoma in the Super Regional. They'll play Texas Tech Thursday in the College World Series. Steve Robertson at 11:30.